Hello dear racers, welcome to TS Custom. In this video I would like to show you our newest extension for Fanatec Gran Turismo DD Pro base and for Fanatec CSL DD base. With this extension you will have some benefits, and in this video I would like to show you what they are, and without further ado, let's dive straight in. First, I would like to talk to you what is an FOV extension, and the best way to go about it is to show you how it actually looks. And the basic idea of the extension is that you put your base behind the screens, so it's not in the way, and this way you can lower your screens and enable this perfect view of your dashboard. So you lower the screens all the way up to the extension, and you actually want the extension to be as thin as possible, so you can lower the screens as much as you can. So this was Assetto Corsa, and this is iRacing, and this is how it looks in iRacing. This is me testing iRacing in the rain, and yeah, I just wanted to show you a few clips where you can see how it looks. Also, you can see the bezel kit. I think it really changes everything. It really looks good. You don't even notice it when you are racing. It kind of blends in and turns your screen into one giant screen. So I think it's a really must-have addition to any triple screen setup. You can definitely consider buying arm mounts for the Asus Free Bezel Kit, because with arm mounts you can put them on any 32-inch screens. And if you're interested in more information about it, you can click on the top right corner right now. And yeah, back to FOV extension. This is the Porsche 992 on iRacing, and by now I hope you got the picture of how it can help you get more immersive while you race, and how important of an add-on this is to your overall sim racing experience. And with that said, we should be moving on to the next part of this video. Alright, after this nice introduction, we can actually talk about how the extension looks from the inside. And for this, I made this piece. So this is made only halfway, so we can see what's inside and how it looks. And you can see that the extension is actually reinforcing the shaft with this bearing right here. So this is the plastic shaft. This is the colored, it's the upgraded one that you get with the QR2 when you buy it from Fanatec. And here you can see the bearing, and here you can see the plastic support that you get. So you have a larger lever in this base, and this makes it a lot stronger. You don't have to worry about breaking your shaft, because it is actually stronger with this extension than it would be as original without the extension, because all the forces without the extension are right here, and now we move these forces right here. So with a bigger lever, the forces acting on the base are less. So what are the differences between these two bases? What are the differences between CSL DD and DD Pro? The biggest differences are in design choices. As you can see here, it's a more rounded design than on the CSL DD, where everything is a bit more squared, and this plastic piece and this plastic piece are completely different on both bases. Also, this centerpiece is different, that is used to cool the motor. And yeah, I actually like the design of DD Pro. It's a bit more refined. I just wanted to let you know that for the assembly of the DD Pro extension, I'm going to use video material from the CSL DD, considering these bases are basically the same. The only difference is in this 3D printed part and how the base looks. You start by removing this screw from the original Fanatec collar and removing the QR from the base. Next, you remove these 4 screws, and you also remove these 4 screws from the back of the base. Remove the rear panel, unplug this connector from the rear PCB, and pull out this plastic protection for the wiring. Next thing to do is to put the USB cable in, and for this you use this provided tool to push it in place. Now return the Fanatec collar, and now you can put this spacer in. Mind the orientation of the spacer. Now take the extension support and assemble it with the front panel like this. Make sure you push the wiring through the right hole. Now you can take the extension and place it like this. Take the bearing and put the bearing on the extension. Now you can take the USB cable and push it in the extension. And finally, you can push the entire assembly inside. Make sure everything is oriented like this, so the extension and the ring needs to have the cutout on the same place where that cutout is on the shaft. And this part needs to be oriented like this, so it is perpendicular to the table. Now you can push the extension inside, and it does take a little bit of force to push it in, but don't be scared, this is normal. Finally, you need to tighten the Fanatec collar, and for tightening strength I can recommend tightening as much as you can like this and then turning it other way around, and then just look how much of a turn I make to tighten it all the way. It does need to be tightened quite hard, just like it needs to be on the original Fanatec QR. But still be mindful not to overdo it, because you might tear up the threads on the Fanatec collar, or you might even break the collar itself. Now you can push the entire assembly in, and at this step you really need to watch out for the wiring and make sure that it's out on the other end. And while pushing this, make sure not to pinch the wiring. Now you need to push it like this to start engaging the bearing into its final position. And it takes a bit of force to do it, and this is just how it has to be because of tight tolerances that are necessary to make this work. You have to push it in just enough so the threads start engaging the thread. And as soon as you can feel the thread engaging, you need to stop screwing it in. And now you need to start tightening it, but make sure to tighten every screw like this, so little by little you will move this piece and make the bearing sit in its final position. And at this time it's a really good advice to check the wiring if it's in the right position, not to risk pinching it while tightening this down. Now you can use the provided tool again to guide this cable into the USB port on the QR. You push the QR in, but not all the way, and then you connect the USB cable and push it all the way in. You can make sure that it's connected by doing this. When the cable is in final position, it should be just slightly bent like this. Finally, you can tighten these 6 screws holding the QR in. And this is the final position of how everything should be oriented. Now you can put this lid in, you simply push it inside until it sits in the final position. Now you can go to the back of the base and push this plastic piece into place and connect the wiring. And finally you can put the back cover on and secure it with these 4 bolts. And the only thing left to do now is to show you the disassembly guide if you ever decide to revert your base to the original state. First thing you need to do is to use provided double-sided tape to remove this lid, and this is how you do it. Now you can use tweezers to unplug the cable. Loosen these 6 bolts and remove the QR. Loosen the 8 bolts that are holding the front and back cover. Move the back cover and unplug this wiring connector. And now you can use this provided tool to hammer out the supported extension. And be gentle while doing this, you don't need to use much force while hammering, you just need to exchange it, and little by little you will push it out. Also be very careful not to hit the PCB while you're hammering this out. So I guess patience is key here. If you think you pulled it out enough, you can try and pull it with your fingers. If you still can't get it out, just a little bit of more hammering should do it. And with this we're going to finish this video. I hope you like this product, and if you want to buy it, you can find all the information in the video description.